Hello there, good morning and welcome to the news on the AM show. I'm Noella Karen Yali and we begin with our top story. And a late afternoon fire outbreak at Lartebiokorshie in Accra on Tuesday has left 7 houses completely destroyed and 2 people injured. The blaze, which spread quickly through the densely populated neighborhood, reduced the affected houses to ashes before fire officers were able to bring it under control. Residents say the fire started in a warehouse and rapidly spread to adjoining structures due to the close proximity of the buildings. Kenneth Jesse was there and reports.
An inferno like no other. According to the Ghana National Fire Service, they got a distress call around 4:15 p.m. about a fire outbreak here at Lartebiokorshie. They immediately rushed to the scene and a warehouse, they say, had caught fire. And it eventually spread to about 7 houses.
Well, so right now what we've been able to do is to confine the fire. Confining the fire is, we have succeeded in checking the spread of fire. So now the fire hasn't gotten the power to extend its wings. And therefore we are working towards reducing its effect so that it will not have the momentum to even spread further.
Well, eyewitnesses also spoke to the news team.
They said, I think one of the Chinese man was smoking or something. I think he did not off the fire, so he left it on the ground, and I don't know. But one of the Chinese female, one of their co-workers, she got burnt.
Our leaders, they don't help us. Our leaders, they don't help us. Look at this car. Since Atomistan, where they bring this car, it's the car. The engine is so half weak. The engine is so half weak. Our leaders, they don't help us. They don't help the youth. Look at me. Look at me.
They need reinforcement so that they can quench the fire. If not, things will go worse. So we are bringing the government to assist the fire service. They have done well. For them, I praise that they have done. If not, all these houses must be burned. This one like this. If not, the fire service came early, it will be dangerous.
Well, although the Ghana National Fire Service says they have been able to confine the fire and that it is not going to spread to other houses, well, the Inferno has already destroyed thousands. Well, the Inferno has already destroyed properties worth thousands and running into millions of Ghana cedis. From Lartebiokorshie in Accra, I am Kenneth Jesse for Joy News.
Now, the Electricity Company of Ghana is asking the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission to approve a staggering 225% tariff adjustment, warning that without it, the company faces a financial cliff in 2026. The Ghana Water Company is also pleading for a 280% increase, blaming illegal mining for crippling its operations. Gridco, too, says Galamsey is driving up to its cost and wants tariff raised. But the Consumer Protection Committee is urging calm, insisting that these are only proposals and that every demand will be carefully scrutinized before approval.
The Electricity Company of Ghana is sounding the alarm. At the PRC public hearings, management said the cost of producing and distributing power now far outweighs sales, a crisis they claim can only be resolved by hiking tariffs by 225%. ECG one distribution service charge moved from 19 pesos to nearly 62 pesos per kilowatt hour, insisting this would deliver only a modest 3% revenue growth in the next 3 years. Without approval, the company warns of a major revenue shortfall by 2026.
UCG proposed that the DSC1 is increased from 19 pesos to 61 pesos, and this is an increase of 225%.
But ECG's demands go beyond tariffs. The company is also asking for the cost of public lighting, which it says is draining its finances, to be factored in, while also calling for tariff bans to help it recover losses.
I have other proposals for you. So as part of the proposal, ECG has also proposed that the tariff band in some of the bands should be collapsed. So if you take a particular note at the end user tariff, there are 3 bands in the residential tariff. We are requesting the regulator to reduce that to just 2, to keep the lifeline tariff and just 1 additional one. This has revenue implications for not only ECG, but the whole sector. My colleague has talked about public lighting tariff.
The Ghana Water Company is equally pushing for drastic adjustment, blaming Galamsey for choking water sources and escalating treatment costs. Ghana Water Company Limited says nothing short of 280% hike can sustain its operations. Michael Kluche is Chief Manager, Corporate Planning.
The third and most disturbing one is the pollution of our water bodies. Currently doing business with our resource, the only resource we have, that is the raw water, is becoming a challenge. And I don't think I should be here telling you what exactly is happening.
Chairperson for the Stakeholder Committee of PRC, Nanaya Jantwa, agrees Galamsey is worsening utility costs, but stresses that the company's requests are still at the proposal stage. She insists the PRC committee will pore over every submission before any decision is taken.
Oh, we have received their proposals for some increment in tariffs. You know, in 2022, the PRC went through a major tariff review process, and we gave them a tariff. They've come to tell us what they use the money for, but not us as PRC. They have to speak to the public. So we have 2 types, which is stepping law: the stakeholder meetings and also the public hearings. So now the process at which we are is the stakeholder meetings. Whatever percentages we see right now, it is the percentages that they have proposed. These are not percentages that we are, we don't know whether we'll give them or not. So after everything, the PRC is going to sit down and also interrogate these numbers, these figures, so that at the end of the day, we will decide what is in the interest of the consumer and the financial viability of the utility service provider.
Meanwhile, industries operating within the Free Zones Enclave are also expected to brace for higher costs, as Enclave Power demands a 163% increase in its distribution service charge. For now, the fate of million consumers rests with the PRC's decision, one that could redefine the cost of power and water for years to come. Isaac Ofeje, Joy News, Accra.
And the Volta River Authority is racing to avert another devastating spillage along the lower Volta, but illegal dredging is undermining the project and threatening the livelihoods of communities along the basin. The VRA says it is teaming up with the EPA, Minerals Commission and Water Resources Commission to crack down on sand winning. Mama V. Safakote reports.
A joint task force comprising the Volta River Authority, Environmental Protection Authority, Minerals Commission and Water Resources Commission has been formed to curb illegal sand winning at the lower Volta. The dredging project, which began a year and a half ago and is expected to span 10 years, has been hampered by illegal activities that threaten its progress and the surrounding communities. At a news conference in Accra, CEO of Green City Ghana Limited, Isaac Kwabna Ofori, one of the official dredging companies, lamented the damaging effects of illegal sand winning on the project and local livelihoods.
The illegal miners, what they are doing, they are disturbing the ecology of the river because of their illegal practices. We are using what we call the cutter section dredger method, of which method VRA told us to use. It doesn't disturb the river because we have to give a clearance about 20 meters from the bank before we can dredge, so that the surrounding 45 communities can still observe their practice of drinking the river water and doing their fishing and all that. The activities can still go on. But however, the illegal miners, the illegal dredgers are now at the bank and disturbing everything for us. So we want National Security and VRA to up their game and help us flush them out. We are not flushing them out. They can come to us, we dredge the river sand, buy it at a very reduced cost and offload it to the market as our off-takers, because the volumes are so huge, we cannot even handle all.
Managing Director of JSC Mediterranean Ghana Limited, Professor Albert Cholu, outlined measures to clamp down on the illegal activities.
It's a very, 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 very crucial issue. The VRA boss tried as much as possible to write letters to all the regulatory bodies, and I have the letter here. And they all formed a task force. Water Resources, 3 of them officials, Mineral Commission, 3 of them officials, and then the EPA, 3. And the VRA also has officials here. And they are to form a task force to ward off these illegal handwinners. You know, he has tried. The letter is here, and then you see the names of the people here. But unfortunately, the coordination is not working properly. That's why we made this press conference to highlight this issue to everybody, that we must all put our hands on deck to make it work.
For communities that rely on the Volta Basin for their livelihoods, these measures, if implemented, will help preserve the natural resource for generations. Mamavi Sefakote's report, read to you.
And the Central Regional Head of the Ghana Museums and Monuments Board, Clifford Ishon, has stressed the urgent need for Ghanaians to reflect on the lessons of the past as a guide to correcting today's mistakes and protecting the nation's future. Speaking at a symposium on slavery and heritage, Mr. Ishon explained that the board's mandate goes beyond preservation. It also seeks to challenge communities to rewrite historical wrongs and to use history as a tool for growth, cultural pride, and tourism.
The Symposium on Slavery, Heritage and Community Engagement held at the Cape Coast Castle was a collaboration between the International Slavery Museum in Liverpool and the Ghana Museums and Monuments Board. Dr. Mahmoud Malik Saako, an Assistant Director of Museum and Archaeologist, shares the details about the symposium.
Engagement is not about repatriation, it's about not sharing, but at least we also have the chance to also ask questions with regard to these millions of objects that were taken away and the atrocity that actually accompany some of these, and even taking these objects, some of them were taken in a violent way. So what we need to be asking that, let's start with this kind of collaboration with them, and also try to start asking questions while we are doing this collaboration, because we all have the same knowledge, or we are all at equal level, and nobody is superior to the other. Then when we are able to have understanding among ourselves, then we'll pave the way for this restitution and repatriation, and even including what? Justices to some of the people who were taken out of this part of the world into the Caribbean and the Americas.
The lead curator of the International Slavery Museum in Liverpool, United Kingdom, Miles Greenwood, indicated that the symposium facilitated an open conversation about injustices caused by slavery.
The colonialism broadly led to many injustices, and one of those injustices was the extraction of material culture and of wealth and of knowledge from places, from colonized countries. And in order to address that injustice, we need to have honest conversations about what that looked like, what those realities were, what was taken, but what was also the circumstances in which they were taken, what's happened to these objects since they were taken. And we need to find ways of repairing that justice. And if that the repair that is wanted by the communities that the injustice has been done to is the return of those objects, then we should be very open about facilitating those conversations.
Central Regional Head of the Ghana Museums and Monuments Board, Clifford Ishon, stated that the aim of the symposium is to draw lessons from the past to secure the future.
You see, the focus of this thing is to learn from the past, try to correct it today and secure the future. So everything that would help us to learn is critical in making sure that the objective is achieved. As an institution, we are working to ensure that we engage more people to the facility. We are not even looking at the financial side of it, because our work is to educate people and get them to stop some activities that will go against us. So everything we are doing is for that purpose.
From Cape Coast, Abigail Lissel and Nkrumah reports for Joy News.
Now, on the occasion of World Literacy Day, non-profit organization Engage Now Africa is urging strong collaboration between telecommunications companies and internet service providers. The call is to expand digital access and harness smartphones as tools to promote education and bridge the literacy gap in Ghana and beyond. At a colourful gathering in Accra to mark World Literacy Day, Engage Now Africa, in partnership with MTN Ghana and the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, brought stakeholders together to reflect on the power of literacy in transforming lives. This year's celebration, themed Promoting Literacy in the Digital Era, underscored the need to blend traditional learning with modern technology. Speakers noted that while reading and writing remain essential, the future of education depends heavily on digital platforms. Engage Now Africa, however, warned that poor internet access and limited smartphone use in rural and undeserved communities continue to widen Ghana's literacy gap. Here's Country Director for Engage Now Africa, Cecilia Amankwa.
It's very easy, but we can do this very well with the telecos because they are the internet service providers. You know, you can do so much, but there's little we can do without internet. So if we are able to collaborate with, that's why we are constantly engaged with MTN Ghana to make sure that we bring this program together to be able to use the internet to propagate the message of education or knowledge to the rest of the world. So we can bridge this gap if we work together as partners with the internet service providers, and also as we use our smartphones in searching for things that will make us grow or gain more knowledge. I think it will help us to bridge that gap.
Special guest and chairman of the event, Gamanche King Takite Kochuru II, commended the organizers and pledged his support.
I want to thank all collaborators, all stakeholders, all partners for this great effort. Having such relief efforts all over the world inspires hope and inspires growth.
Also lending her voice was Nya Awona Ayele Nobache I, Ga Paramount Queen Mother for Children and Youth. Organizers say with stronger partnerships and smart use of technology, literacy in Ghana can move beyond classrooms to empower every home, every child, and every community. For Joy News, Noella Karen-Yale. Let's do the business updates now. And the Ministry of Energy and Green Transition has revealed that 3 investors have expressed interest in the country's quest to develop nuclear energy as part of its energy mix. According to the Deputy Minister of Energy, Richard Jan Mensah, the move represents significant progress aimed at improving the country's energy output. He furthered this and other initiatives, including the ongoing renegotiation of the debt owed the Independent Power Producers (IPP), contributes to measures being implemented by the ministry to ensure affordable electricity.
The ministry has a target to reach 90% coverage by the end of the year. And our vision is also not just only making electricity accessible to all Ghanaians, but also making sure that it's much more affordable to our people. So one of the measures we are putting in place is now the competitive procurement for power generation, and then also now the renegotiation of existing power purchase agreements, which currently we've made almost about 7 IPPs have actually met with the ministry, and we have done some negotiation and have concluded on that. Very soon, when we are done with everything, we will come out officially to communicate what we have, the milestone we have achieved on that. So hopefully we are looking forward to Ghana having a very affordable power sector, and that is why we're also considering bringing on board the nuclear, which I mentioned that the government have secured almost about 60% of the sites for renewable power projects, and then has also started on 2 vendors, one from the America, one also from China. And there's a new even discussion with the Russian government who also have also brought in a proposal or a project, and we are going to consider as well. Ghana wants to, beyond as part of the renewable energy agenda, we are looking also to include the nuclear power to it.
And the Institute of Climate and Environmental Governance has expressed concern about the Electricity Company of Ghana's proposal to increase its distribution service charge by 225% for the 2025-2029 regulatory period. According to the energy think tank, although it believes in a reasonable upward adjustment to recover operational cost, the proposal to increase the tariff is clearly against the principles of fairness, accountability and sustainability. Speaking to Joy Business Policy Lead Climate Finance and Energy Transition, Kwesi Yamoa Abedu said ECG's failure to address the underlying causes of its inefficiencies should not be at the expense of the ordinary Ghanaian.
We at ISEG believe that the 225% increment proposal that ECG is seeking for is unjustifiable. The reason being that quite recently, PULC made an upward adjustment of almost 14.75%. At the time of computation of this upward adjustment, it was anticipated that the cedi would have depreciated further. Miraculously, and by dint of hard work, we could say that the cedi appreciated rather. By extension, we were looking forward to see a downward decline in prices of commodities, i.e. electricity tariffs. However, it still remained the same. And then here we are today, and ECG is telling us that in the next major tariff review year, that is from 2025 to 2029, they are looking forward to increase tariff by 225%. We must say this categorically, that ISEG is not against the increment of tariff. But then what we are asking for is that it should be reasonable such that it will be equitable to all. Increasing tariff more than what we can bear as citizens is just a way to take out the right people have to enjoy electricity and then make them, excuse me to say, poor and poorer. We at ISEG believe that the 225% increase.
Well, let's wrap the business update with some news in the commodity market. And that's it for the business update. Up next is the sports update. I'm Noella Caranielli.